Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boisterous coming to you with some Silver League sexiness out of the map Newkirk City from Heart of the Swarm. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have Melvid as the red Zerg, and over here in the bottom right-hand corner, we do have Meltyblood as the blue Terran, and Doncroft is here with me, and I accidentally forgot to say he was casting with me. Whoops.
That's okay. At least you didn't call me Doncroft
Or Dan Crotch.
or Dan or any of the above.
Oh, okay. So I'm not allowed to call you Dan Crotch.
No.
Oh. Well.
Okay, so we got a TVZ here.
Yes, that we do. And Melvid was playing random, so, you know, Meltyblood kind of has no idea what's going on, but it's cool.
Although he is Terran, and Terran are pretty good at dealing with random because they can wall, and that kind of protects them from any contingency. If he was Protoss, he'd have to either throw a gateway down near the top of his ramp because he could be Zerg and he might need a wall off, or he'd have to do like go for a forge and either can rush or forge fast expand and just go for it.
Rush? That's one of your three major strategies?
No. Oh, against random, there's no major strategy. You just go with the flow.
I just like how you went with safe gateway, forge fast expand, or cannon rush. Those are your three options.
Only three things you can do with minerals, man, when you're Protoss.
All right. Well, I have learned quite a bit about your playstyle today, Doncroft.
Okay.
It looks
All right,
like...
so we got 14 pool going down?
Yep. Pretty standard in the Heart of the Swarm game. I mean, I still prefer 15 hatches over basically everything else, but that's because I love macro games. But, you know, 14 pools are good.
We also have a fairly early SCV scout. This is earlier than normal.
I think that's just because of the fact that he's playing against a random. I think he sent it out at like 8.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so he just wanted to make sure that he knew what race he was facing up against, because the actual build does kind of differentiate between Zerg and Protoss once you get into the later game. Usually for Protoss, you want to drop down more barracks and kind of go for that mech style play, whereas for Zerg, you might go as far as like rushing a factory.
Oh, you got a surround on that SCV. It is history.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, Melvid with the nice little ninja hit move there. Did he actually move all of his drones? Because I'm pretty sure that's actually not cost efficient.
He moved more than he needed to. Yes.
Yeah. And I hate seeing that when people just like waste minerals from drones just by like clicking them around trying to kill a scout, because it's not really useful.
But maybe it'll send our friend Zappy on tilt a bit there. Losing that scouting worker to enemy workers is never a good feeling.
Zappy is Melvid though, so I think he's gonna be perfectly fine.
Oh,
yeah,
whoops.
Yeah.
Okay, Meltyblood is not Zappy.
No,
okay.
He is not. All right. Well, anyway, I mean, as we move into this game and both players are doing something pretty natural stuff. I mean, a reasonably fast expand from Meltyblood, a very fast expand from Zappy. I think I'm just going to let you talk about Lore of StarCraft because it's interesting and it's a series you do, and I would like you to plug it.
Oh, yes, Lore. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lore of StarCraft is a series that I was prompted to do almost right after my first viewer talk with Ponera. He invited me onto his little show. It was small at the time. It was much smaller, and I talked about literary themes. I ended up talking about them, and he's like, you should do a show on focused on the literary aspects of StarCraft. And I said, all right, I'll think about it. And as the show took off, and we started, Zappy did mechanics of StarCraft, and I thought, you know, maybe we should do a lore. Because, I mean, the first thing a lot of people are going to do when Heart of the Swarm comes out is play the campaign, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna play that campaign. And StarCraft, especially the original, most people consider it to have a really good storyline. And it's got a lot of great characters in it. And I love science fiction myself. So going into this, I thought, hey, you know, as a little thing alongside Anatomy of StarCraft and Mechanics of StarCraft, why not do a show that focuses on the really strong character relationships and cultures in the StarCraft 2 universe, or StarCraft universe? We did Arcturus Minx. That one was pretty good. Minx is a great villain, and then we just did the Overmind. That one got trolled a little bit more.
Yeah, that one had Panera on it.
Yep, it did. And the next one, in case any, and I'm not sure if I've announced this publicly or not, but it is going to be on Tazadar, the Protoss hero.
Are we going to argue for 30 minutes about how he killed the Overmind again? So that would be amazing.
No.
I'm sure everyone would want to listen to that.
Now, I could point out, going back to the game, that you notice how these creep tumors are going down on the ramp. I don't know how many, if some people might not know this yet, but you can not only place creep tumors on ramps now, but if you are Protoss, you can also once again warp in on ramps.
Oh, they gave that back?
Yes, as long as the pylon is on the high ground.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's very nice. It gives you a lot more space to warp in when you're defending.
Yeah, that's a much better change. For a second, I thought you meant you could warp in from the low ground, and I was like,
no, I'm sure you can't. I actually haven't tested it, but it doesn't make sense if they'd re-enable that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, 4-gate heaven.
Oh God.
Or hell, depending on whether you're doing it or defending against it.
Oh yeah, that was horrible to defend against 4 gates every PvP match ever. Ugh.
Yep. Yeah, almost without fail.
Yeah. And then I started 4-gating and I went up 2 leagues. And I was like, okay, all right, I get this.
I have to say, I never actually performed a 4-gate in a PvP.
Doncroft, you're missing out.
Never.
No,
I went 1-gate robo.
What?
I went 1-gate.
Even in the age of 4 gates.
Well,
1-gate robo?
When I couldn't out micro them anymore, I just started DT rushing every game, and I'd win every game.
Nice. There you go. That's
because they're like, if you're fast enough and your opponent isn't really good with his chronos, like if he doesn't sink 3 or 4 into that warp gate, I could get DTs out just as his units were entering my base, and I'd use 1 to defend, 2 in the enemy mineral lines, and GG. And they would get so mad at me.
I was trying to 4-gate you.
Yeah,
how dare you use a strategy that pseudo counters it? Come on! What are you doing? Oh man.
Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Zappy's getting burrow.
He is? Whoa, that's.
Oh yeah.
That's
something. I think he wants to do some infestor play here.
Yeah, I'm expecting a Brofester hit squad quite soon.
Oh yes. The style Destiny made popular in North America.
The Brofester hit squad. Probably one of the best names for their strategy ever.
Yeah.
Unarguably. Other than that, it looks like Zappy's actually kind of just trying to put on just a tiny bit of pressure with all these Zerglings outside of the front of Meltyblood. But with that many Marines, I don't think Meltyblood is actually going to have anything to do with that.
I also don't think Burrow... I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm brand new to co-casting, ladies and gentlemen.
No problem.
I not mean to cut Boisterous off there. I was going to say, not Zappy, Meltyblood. Meltyblood. I don't know how blood freezes. Anyways, he's got this nice wall, which will prevent even burrowed infestors from entering the base if the supply depots are raised. So if those are up, only a Nidus Worm or an Overlord drop will get them in there if he plans on attacking there. Or maybe it's just a long-term plan. Maybe he plans an ambush when the Bio Ball moves out. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
he's got good upgrades rolling.
You know what I've always wanted to see in StarCraft 2? Is somebody make like a circle with their Zerglings outside of the enemy's base, and then as soon as the army moves out and gets like right in the middle of the circle, you just unburrow them all in instant surround.
Yeah.
That would be like one of the hardest to actually perform strategies ever, but it would be hilarious.
Yeah, the thing is burrowed Baneling bombs are more effective. So if you're going to do that kind of tactic, it's almost certainly going to be Banelings.
Yeah, with 4 Banelings in the center of the circle.
Oh, 4 Banelings in the center, yes.
There you go. Perfect
Picture
strategy.
Perfect. Better than a nuke.
You just need to time it exactly right. Alright, well, it looks like we do have a move out from Meltyblood. He currently doesn't have that big of an army. I mean, it's just Marines and a couple of siege tanks. But at the same time, I mean, Melvid is basically running on Zerglings right now.
He's responding. He just made 38 Zerglings. Now, 38 Zerglings are not going to do all that well against these combat shield Marines, but they do have an upgrade advantage.
Yes, indeed.
And they're on creep, so let's see how this goes.
It looks like we are going to have a nice surround on the tank, and the tank was not protected properly. And that army was split up very poorly.
He needs to pick up.
But I don't know. He will be able to fight off these Zerglings, but he's going to take heavy, heavy losses doing it. And I think that was cost inefficient for Meltyblood, most certainly.
Definitely cost inefficient. I'm surprised Zappy didn't have more of a follow-up there.
I think he just ran out of larva, kind of. I mean, he's been missing...
I think he did.
Yeah, he's been missing quite a few larva injects if you look at his queen energy. But all of them are above 50, and one of them is at like 175. And I think that one might have been one that was laying down a creep tumor, and then just got moved to the 3rd, but I'm still going to complain about it anyway.
Okay. Yep. Now, if I was Zappy right now, I would throw... Oh, man. Look at the supply. Holy moly moly. We've been missing something here. Well,
it's
here's the
getting
thing.
a little bit nasty.
Zappy's on hive tech on 2 base. That's a thing.
That is a thing. That's exactly where you want
Gonna have
to be
adrenal
as a Zerg
glands
player.
in a second here. So
Yeah.
these Zerglings, any number of them are gonna just tear through these Marines with 2/2 and adrenal glands. But no, he's gonna go Ultralisks.
Oh.
So what looks to be
God.
what looks to be a victory for Meltyblood might turn around very quickly as soon as those Ultralisks pop. It's gonna be like that Carbot we just saw.
Oh. It's
Did you see
totally
that?
the unexpected.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The Ultralisks. This is gonna be kind of horrible. I actually don't know how this is gonna go. We have a nice blinding cloud going down on the army of Meltyblood, cutting down a lot of that marine damage, but it really wasn't enough to actually do anything noticeable. However, there are just about to be 6 Ultralisks popping out with 2/2. I don't think they yet have Chitinous Plating.
Hey, there it is.
No! The Ultra doesn't know how to attack. Oh God, they're on the ramp. That is not a spot you want your Ultralisks. But they are going to be doing a nice amount of cleave damage to this army, and we have a lot of the Marines going down to these Ultralisks. There's still 3 standing, and ouch, that did pretty well.
And here come the Zerglings to clean up anything else.
Yeah, that was actually pretty well played by Zappy. Yeah. The only issue was that it was so late. I mean, he committed so many resources to teching that he just didn't have the money or the larva or anything to actually hold off that attack. At his third base.
Zappy needs to throw. If I was Zappy right now, I'd throw down. Yeah, like 2 or 3 hatcheries. Just take.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You just have to.
Yeah, because he's so far behind economically right now. I mean, he's way ahead in tech, but that doesn't really mean much
he's
in
getting
TVZ.
Yep, he needs to throw down 2 hatcheries and burn. Oh, but he's making 44 lings. He's going to be all in.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice to do at this point in the game.
He has to kill both this third and the enemy army to break even.
Yeah, basically. I don't know how he's going to do that. I mean, he does have another Viper coming out, so he is going to have quite a few Blinding Clouds or quite a few Abducts or basically anything he wants, but it's still going to be kind of a nasty engagement for him.
Well, let's see. It's going to be 5 armor Ultralisk versus 7 damage on the Marines, so that's a lot of tanking.
Yeah, that's like 2 damage per shot.
Yes, it is mostly Marines, and it looks like Meltyblood's doing a drop with that lovely new boosters. Or afterburners.
So freaking fast with the boosters on. Oh God. Alright, well that drop is going to be moving into the main base, and Melvid does not have anything in there to help defend against it. He basically just has the queen, and that drop is going to be going down, and it looks like he's pulling back the entire army, but Meltyblood is taking this opportunity perfectly and using most of his army to attack at the main base. But at the same time, I mean, the drop was dealt with reasonably well. I mean, he managed to pull 4 queens to actually take out the medevac. He does have a lot of energy on these queens for transfuses because he's been missing so many injects, and that might actually just turn out to be good for him. Oh, but he does lose a queen somehow. Don't know how he managed that one.
Meltyblood just lost virtually his whole army there.
Yeah, I was paying way too much attention to the drop, but yeah, you're right. Everybody died.
Yep. Oh my goodness, the hatchery survived. Holy cow, I was sure that was dead.
Wow.
The third base.
How the hell?
I don't know. I was sure that was dead. It was being focused down. He should have just stayed and finished that.
Yeah, that was... Why
he should have left a small squad of Marines to finish that while pulling the rest of the army back.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally like 3 or 4 shots of his Marine squad away.
And
it looks like we do have an engagement going down for Melvid in the main base, and the siege tanks are going to get wrecked instantly by the Ultralisks. That was really nasty positioning. The Bio army just couldn't stand there and fight, so he basically just lost a lot of resources for almost nothing. I mean, just Zerglings, basically.
Yep. I'm looking at the resource loss tab right now, and the Terran is actually behind in resources lost. How often do you see that?
Not often. Usually the Zerg is kind of that army that just gets absolutely trounced. And I'm actually surprised by that, because so far in this game, I mean, the Zerg army has been getting absolutely trounced a lot. And it looks like we have the actual Ultralisks having a field day right now. Oh my god, we have 12 kills, 17 kills, and 6 kills. And I just realized that one of the titles for ranks for an Ultralisk is Assassin. I'm not sure how much of an assassin an Ultralisk is.
I don't know, those blades are kind of hard to conceal.
Those are, I mean, they are pretty stealthy, let's be honest.
That's when you scan the Ezio Ultralisk. It can retract its blades, and comes up, sticks a Thor, right in the chest. Oh, Thor is not.
Oh god, if
Thor
they
is
ever
gone.
add skins to StarCraft 2, that's exactly what I want. I want Ezio Ultralisks.
They could have like a white turban hanging off the horns, like a little red.
Alright, well that would most certainly be interesting. We have 6 more Ultralisks on the way for Zappy, which is gonna make his army quite large and quite awesome, and I'm very surprised by how this game has gone so far. It's been really back and forth.
Yes, indeed. It's been kind of a low econ, very aggressive game by both parties.
Yeah.
And talk about aggressive, the tech that Melvid has. Oh my goodness, he's got everything except Greater Spire, I believe.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd. I think he really should be at least thinking about going for that Greater Spire at this point, because, I mean, his opponent's army is not ready for a tech switch at all. I mean, there's how many starports? There's, what, 1 starport with a reactor up? That's going to be very hard to produce enough Vikings out to deal with
Handy
brood
dandy building
lords.
tab. Yep,
And
1 starport.
yeah, and he, like, doesn't want... Like, he doesn't really want to change because if his opponent just keeps coming with Ultralisks, it's just going to be impossible to fight off if you start building those Vikings too early.
Now, Meltyblood will have 3/3 on his infantry very soon, so that will help him a bit. His tanks, however, are completely unupgraded.
Yeah, that's rough. You definitely want at least 1 point until that tank upgrade. But with the upgrades from Melvid, I'm not even sure if that would matter at all, because Melvid is at 3-2, and of course his Ultralisks are then at 5-2 with a lot of armor, 6 armor currently on those Ultralisks.
Yep, and they do full damage to light now.
They do?
Full damage. Oh yeah, 35 damage. To, well, more than that now.
41.
I mean, because
yeah,
it's at 41 now.
that's frightening.
Scales by 3 per upgrade. So yeah, they will 2-shot a Marine.
I don't want to see that.
And they swing as fast as a Marine shoots.
Do they really? What?
Yes.
Oh my god, they do.
They've got the same weapon speed as an unstimmed Marine.
Wow, that's actually that's actually kind of crazy. It looks like we do have the engagement going now. That is a massive Bioball doing nice running away micro. However, that again leaves all the tanks out in the open, and those Ultralisks are just having a field day.
It's a stampede.
I wonder how many Assassin Ultralisks are now in there. It might actually be.
Oh, we got Predator, a Metamorph, a Slayer.
I think Metamorph is the coolest one so far.
Ravager, yeah.
Oh, but the Metamorph tries to 1v1 a planetary fortress, and it does not go well, to say the least.
Wow.
Man, those planetaries are rough.
Oh, but this bio is so low. One slice from the Ultralist will cut it down.
But I'm not even sure if that Ultralists are going to get those slices, because we do have nice micro battles going on here. And, I mean, he's in a nice position right now. He's going to be able to get one more Ultralisk down there. The Ultralisks are trying to attack into the main base, but there are like 4 Marauders that are just standing at the ramp, being absolute heroes. And, oh my god, this is crazy. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a massive flood of Zerglings start to run towards the opponent's base. There we do have 56 Zerglings in production, but if they were made like 7 seconds earlier, I mean, it would have been the 3rd base down. It would have probably been the natural down. It would have been a lot more damage for this attack to do. There are still 2 Ultralisks just stampeding in the base.
Okay.
And, yes,
if these slings go unchecked, they will rip this natural to shreds.
Yeah, and those slings are coming in fast. Wow.
They're going to go right for the orbital. That's what they should do, right for the orbital. Nope, they're indecisive.
Yeah, no,
I actually disagree with that.
They do not care about your strategies, Doncroft. I mean, the issue with going right for the orbital, though, is that
it will lift off. That's true.
Yeah, you're probably never going to kill an orbital, ever. If your opponent doesn't want to lose it. Or notices at all.
Yeah, that's what comes of being a Protoss player. Sometimes I forget about liftoff. Go right for the Nexus. I mean, the flying metal thing.
It looks like we do have the army from Melvid swinging in yet again and trying to snipe off as much bio as possible, but it is getting absolutely fragged by these siege tanks. There's still quite a bit of production from Meltyblood, enough to actually hold this off, and there the siege tank does go down, and Melvid's just going to run around a little bit.
Yeah, the lack of level 3 melee has really been hurting. I think Zappy may have actually won the game had he had those level 3 weapons done. They are finished now, but most of the fighting is over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was strange to not see him have that level 3 melee up. And I'm very surprised he hasn't started reproducing his Ultralisks yet. There we go. We have 9 Ultralisks on the way, basically dumping everything he can into that, and he really needs more bases.
Oh yeah, he's running on, I would say fumes, but it's not gas he needs, it's minerals. So he's running on crumbs. He's running on shards.
Is that what you call minerals? Crumbs?
Crumbs, shards, fragments.
I think shards and fragments is better. But,
he's running on shards.
He's running on crumbs. I think I'm just going to call it that from now on.
Well, it's cookies, you know?
Is it?
Think about cookies.
Are minerals cookies?
Well, they could be.
I guess, yeah. I guess you could bake mineral cookies.
I mean, look, you could grind those up, and they would make. I mean, imagine them on white frosting, beautiful blue sprinkles.
Oh, that would be pretty awesome.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Somebody get on that. Go get to the Caprulu sector.
Yep.
Mine some minerals.
Do some marine.
Crush them up, and then bring us cupcakes with mineral frosting on them.
Oh yes, and a nice Vespian energy drink.
I'm not sure if that would be safe to drink. It looks like we do have the drop from Meltyblood going down the main base, but they were a little bit outmatched by Ultralisks.
Just a little.
The only good thing that they got out of that was they did manage to snipe off the Ultra Cavern, which is a very important tech structure, and it will actually slow down the production from Melvid quite a bit unless he just goes for straight up Zerglings from this point, which actually wouldn't be a bad idea.
I will point out that the Zerg has almost no anti-air whatsoever. He has 5 queens. So the medevacs are never having to be rebuilt, which I think has been. I mean, look at the Terran gas. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's 500.
It's really both players' gas at this point.
Oh,
I mean, it's getting absolutely out of control.
They're both going very mineral. They're trading minerals. They're trading marines for Zerglings back and forth.
Oh, we do have an interesting. Oh, those were the units he burrowed earlier. Oh my God, that was actually that was a beautiful play, managing to snipe off a tech.
And he reburrowed 3 more.
I really wish he had managed to get more out of that, but that was pretty well played. I would be surprised to not see a scan go down in. All right, Meltyblood's not going to throw down a scan. I mean, screw it, right? YOLO?
Yeah. Now, if you're a Zerg player, what you can do is what Protoss often do with Dark Templars. Split them up. Force multiple scans by burrowing in multiple places.
Yeah.
That's always good, because every scan is 1 mule that's delayed. Now, granted, he is banking a bit of energy there, but that's not always the case. Especially, and think about how mineral heavy this game is. I mean, you need that mineral income.
Why isn't he using his main for mules? How long has it been at 200 energy? What? Oh,
well,
Meltyblood.
It will use the closest orbital command to call down the mule.
Yeah, but I mean, just spam it until it's like not enough energy.
Absolutely. And here we go. The Zerg did not get us around. They're attacking from the one side and crashing right into the tank line. That tank line's going to be obliterated, but the bio's mostly untouched. They run right into the blinding cloud.
Those are so many blinding clouds. With the radius, that's at least like 10 or 12 of them. Wow. That was some beautiful blinding cloud blanketing, and he lost, what, 2 Ultralisks in that entire engagement? And now those Ultralisks are just absolutely rampaging, trying to storm down this bio army. They are not able to get this round because they are surprisingly not fast. However, that was pretty nice.
1 Ultralist swipe away from killing that whole remaining force right there, but the medevacs are now going to do their job.
Yeah, and I mean, with this many medevacs and just keeping this many medevacs up, I mean, there were medevacs just literally sitting on top of the Ultralisks.
Yes, just now. They were just hovering. They're in with the Vipers, just hanging out. Just shows how little anti-air Zappy actually has at present.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of surprised that both of these players has been gone for anti-air, because these Vipers and those medevacs are absolutely trashing every team fight and like wrecking it. And I've been playing way too much Heroes of New Earth because I just called that a team fight. Don't I feel like a great caster?
I could go. You realize how many black soul gems Zappy is filling right now with all those. So you don't want to make Skyrim references, but.
All right, yeah, let's just cast this like it's a game
Go
of
Bastion.
Skyrim.
They need to hit the distillery.
Oh my God!
Because
they can't get those extra chances to defeat. They really need to drink that.
Vipers need to drink the black rye. That way they can cast 5 abducts instead of 3 or 2.
All right, well, that was a very natural segue.
Very.
It looks like we have 5 more Ultralisks on the way, which is going to make this army kind of like ridiculously Ultralisk heavy. The drop at the 4th base is doing a reasonable amount of damage, but it's still nothing amazing. I mean, if we look at the workers killed tab, all right, Meltyblood has killed 4. With all of these drops, he has killed 4 workers.
That's actually very surprising.
I know. He's dropped like 4 or 5 times and killed 4 workers. Anyway, it looks like we do have the main engagement kind of about to happen. Some nice Viking Viper there, and there we do see all of the Vipers getting taken down, and that's going to be nasty. A couple of Blinding Clouds do go down, but the army is very rapidly microed out of that. They're trying to drop them as close to the army as possible.
The Ultralists are just not getting hits off. There they go. There I got a few.
This is the issue with Ultralists in the heart of the swarm, is that since they changed Infestors, it's a lot harder to actually manage to do a lot of damage with Infestors.
Oh, and a beautiful side attack by Meltyblood. He's going to kill off at least 2 of these Ultras.
And it looks like the Ultras try to turn around to attack, but against... they just burrow. Sadly not very effective, because his opponent does have a lot of scans, but
I believe
it was worthy.
Burrow charge has been removed.
Yeah. Ultralisk charge. Go. I'm actually kind of surprised they took out. I'm surprised how hard they nerfed Ultralisks in Heart of the Swarm, and there is a small engagement going on here. But it's basically just going to be a one-sided slaughter fest for these Zerglings.
Not if these medevacs do their job and rescue the troops.
No, those medevacs don't
3
care.
lucky Marauders. The 3, I guess they're the boyfriends of 3 of these 4 pilots. One of them picked up 2. Or maybe.
Wow. Ooh.
I don't know. Something's going on here. The Vikings land because they're just so depressed.
Why did
because they've got nothing else to do.
He was like, you know, this game's going a little bit too much in my favor. Better land all my Vikings.
Right into the Zerglings. Yep.
God. All right. Well, that was an interesting choice. And we actually did have a couple of medevacs get sniped off in that battle by Queens, I think. Maybe? Maybe.
I don't know. What I do know is that the Terran is just about out of minerals.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean,
he needs to mule.
How much? All right. So the main base is still at 200. The natural is about to hit 200, and the third base has none. He should probably mule. I mean, he has he has 7 mules in storage.
He needs mules.
Definitely.
He was down to 50 minerals for a while there. The Zerg's banking 7,000.
Yeah, the Zerg has quite the bank at this point. I mean, Zappy literally just needs to tech switch once and win this game. I'm still surprised he hasn't gone for Infestors. I mean, Infestors do kind of suck now that Fungal Growth has that range. Or not range, the projectile, but I think he could do it.
He could do almost anything. He could go switch into mass muta and win. Like mass muta, a full wave of mutas, this base up and the top, dead.
Oh yeah, then it's just an absolute economic
game over.
Win. Yeah.
And then he just has to beat down the army.
And there's only like.
And we have the entire army responding to a drop. Little bit of overkill. He could just leave about 10 Zerglings back here.
Yeah, the Zerglings are actually pretty effective now that they have Adrenal Glands in 3/3. I mean, they're doing what, like 16 DPS? I mean, they're basically Marines now. Yeah.
Let's give Zappy some credit. He does have some pretty good creep spread.
Oh,
it's more than halfway across the map, and that's been allowing him to just beat back any kind of Terran advancement on the creep. But once he gets off the creep, the Ultras can no longer keep up with the Stim Bio. And here we go. Another good hit. It's going to catch every single one of those except the ones that go up in the medevacs.
And yeah, that was he's finally using his Zerglings well, because for a while there he was actually attack moving his Zerglings with the Ultralisks, which isn't really what you want to do. You want to have them in 2 separate supply groups and then just attack move with the Ultralisks and actually move with the Zerglings to get a surround. Because
we have anti-air.
Oh, we do have Hydralisks.
Hydralisk with muscular augment. There we
finally
go.
Fast. Oh man, I'm so excited. Look at those Hydralisks slither across the ground, and there we do have a wow.
Same
quite a bit of damage.
Yep, that medevac didn't stand a chance.
No, it did not. Huh. All right. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna go back into my little bit of a rant on Ultralisks because there's not a whole ton going on here at all. And my rant on Ultralisks, and this is my main point on them, is that they made them suck in Heart of the Swarm. They made them way worse than they ever were in Wings of Liberty because they had Burrow Charge, and Burrow Charge was a great solution if Fungal Growth didn't exist. But then they removed Burrow Charge because Fungal Growth existed. And then they basically removed Fungal Growth from the game, or at least the game of effectivity, because, I mean, with the missile, it's a lot harder to land because that missile is kind of slow moving, and the typical bio army is rapidly getting stemmed backwards. So now, I mean, just like looking at this game very much in particular, you see the Ultralisks not doing any damage in fights at all because they just can't get close enough to hit their opponents, which is very annoying to me. Just as a Zerg player, it hits me somewhere deep in the feels because I hate Broodlords.
I can tell you that as a Protoss, Ultralisks are actually much, much better than they were in Wings of Liberty. But we got a huge engagement here. But they're going right into a planetary. That is a bad news right there. Even if he gets it, he's losing so many Zerglings. And they're in a choke.
Yeah, this is...
Oh,
he did manage to get the planetary, and now he's going to snipe off the third base. But that third base is not at all effective in the army.
No, it's not doing anything.
We do have some nice sniping going down from these Hydralisks. He is finally managing to clean up quite a few of those medevacs, and he's down to 10 again, which is better than like this 19 he was at. Actually, he's at 12.
Got the Hero Marine trying to take on all the Ultras. He doesn't last long despite the support of 2 medevacs.
Sadly, 2 medevacs cannot heal the same unit. Otherwise,
and even if they could, that's... yeah.
Just fly all of your medevacs to your 1 Marine.
Now, Boisterous, I will say, I think people are really underestimating the change to the Ultras attack. The fact that they do full damage to all armor types is devastating against certain units. For instance, Zealots and Archons used to buffer beautifully against Ultras. Now they melt like ice on the sidewalk. They're just, and I mean in the summer, not in the winter.
I guess that that's good against Protoss, but against Terran, I mean, Terran is so based on the kind of kiting gameplay, as we've been seeing from Meltyblood, which is just stutter stepping away from Ultralisks, and then you have Ultralisks doing like 4 hits to their opponents. So I don't know what...
used to 4-shot Marines, now they 2-shot them.
I know,
and that's without fungal growth.
I know, but they just don't get those hits. I mean, unless your opponent gets surrounded by Zerglings, you just don't get those hits, which makes them a lot worse than Broodlords, because Broodlords basically do the exact same thing, except they do get those hits, and they're siege units. So
I will
say, don't die.
Hydralisks are doing a good job of picking off the massed air units, but once those Ultralisks go down, those Hydralisks won't stand a chance. They've got 80 HP, that is not going to stand up to that kind of Terran firepower for very long.
Yeah, definitely not, and he's gone really heavy into these Hydralisks, which is kind of interesting.
I really think he should have gotten Banelings at some point in this game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Banelings would have been useful.
Banelings was I don't know if is it centrifugal hooks?
Centrifugal hooks, yes.
Centrifugal hooks would have been very good on that creep.
Yeah, definitely.
With the Marauder count, because it would have forced the Marines back and basically made things harder for the Terran player. But as it is, Zappy continues to send his entire army to respond to a single medevac drop, and I just feel at this point that he should be using this isle on the top to go for some kind of flank attack. Just try to take out these barracks.
I think he's finally going to start doing that at this point, and I'm kind of surprised that Zappy has not literally just dropped down 25 hatcheries and then just rushed his opponent with Zerglings. And just literally made Zerglings until he wins. Because he can do that. He has 17,000 minerals.
Well, he's about to strike a major blow against the Terran economy.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we do have that orbital command not getting sniped by the Hydralisks. Hydralisks, that's your job. You have 1 job.
Oh, and he lands the orbital, which is actually a good move right there because it makes the Zerg army pathing much worse.
Yeah, it definitely does.
He will get the orbital though, but he's losing a lot of forces.
Yeah, he's lost all of his Ultralisks, and we are now going to see those Hydralisks start to take major damage from this Terran army because they do not have medevacs of their own, and they are being absolutely cost inefficient. Those Hydralisks getting absolutely wrecked by this army. Ouch. I mean, they managed to take out a good force, but it was nowhere near enough.
They actually would have won that fight had Meltyblood not brought in the flank. See, I'm an English teacher, and I said brung. That's how awesome StarCraft is. I just forget everything else.
All right. Well, we do have 10 Ultralisks on the way for Zappy because, you know, he has so much freaking money that he should probably just build. Literally, I'm not even kidding. There's enough space here for like nine hatcheries. And just flood Zerglings. Literally, until you win. Just S, Z, hold it down, and then A with all of the eggs.
Yeah, with that many minerals, I mean, you don't even need queens. You could just build a ton of hatcheries.
Yeah, you could play it like Brood War
style. Yeah.
You could literally just like empty a supply line or a mineral line of drones and just build them all into hatcheries somewhere. Huh. I'm I'm kind of flabbergasted he hasn't done that yet. I'm flabbergasted that more people don't do that when they're in a situation like this. Because any Protoss player, if they had this many minerals, would just be dropping gateways. Like,
oh yeah,
everywhere.
Absolutely.
So
I would
instantly
be
replenish their army.
like 30 gates.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whatever. I'll warp in. Anytime that's below 200, boom.
It would be like how I used to play 3v3s with 333 blink stalkers off of 18 gateways.
Oh,
with one warp prism.
We got the mineral line being absolutely ravaged up at the Terran's only mining base.
That's all. This is a lot of damage that Melvid is doing, and I think he's finally kind of gotten this game in a bag, but he just doesn't know how to close it, really. Because this bio army is still just so cost efficient against the Ultras.
He can't catch it.
Yeah.
He cannot catch it. It's too fast.
And this is what I mean with like the Ultras changes. They're very much better against Protoss, but I'm just not sure how much better they are against Terran.
Well, we're going to find out as it does release on March 12th. Anyways, the Terran bio has just fallen to pieces. There's just too much Zerg HP in this army.
Yeah. And, I mean, he's finally able to take it back and kind of push it into the main base.
Production's
and
gone idle.
There's the game.
We have... Yep.
All right. Well, it would appear that Melvid's just going to sit here and kill off some more buildings. Make sure that he actually won. And there we go. Probably the longest commentary I've done in like a year. So I'm very thankful you were here, Doncroft.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I was going to have to do this game solo, and I was going to cry big, manly tears. Oh, God. You can't even imagine doing this with like 3 drinks of water. So anyway, Doncroft, do you have anything to plug? You should plug with Lore of StarCraft and tell them where to find it and all that stuff.
Well, it is currently on Ponera's channel, Ponera86. So you search that on YouTube. That's Ponera and then 86. And you should find his channel easy peasy. There's a ton of shows, all StarCraft related on there. Good stuff, guys nerding out. So check that out. If you want to find me, I'm always in general discussion on the official StarCraft 2 North American Battle.net forums, which is www.starcraft.com, starcraft2.com, excuse me. That's the easy way to find it. And then just click forums, general discussion.
All right, and if you guys want your games commented, you can send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to watch any other Boisterous action, you can head over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. So anyway, guys, this is Boisterous.
And this is Doncroft.
Signing out.